Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel, TammyTalks here. I did not forget about them dragons, alright? So let's go ahead and talk episodes 2 and 3 of House of the Dragon. If you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoyed that type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, thumbsing up the video if you enjoyed it, and then hop in the comment section, y'all, so we can talk about everything that happened on the past 2 episodes of House of the Dragon. Alright? So, going back to last week, let's do a quick recap of episode 2 since I missed it. Alright, so couple main things from episode 2 that I want to talk about. One being they sped it up 6 months. So I was happy that it wasn't like the next day. You know what I mean? So we sped it up 6 months and we see that Rhaenyra and her father and the king still really aren't talking. She just lost her mother and her son. He just lost his father. He just lost his wife and his son. So, did I say mother and son? Mother and brother. He just lost his wife and his son. So, they're in this awkward moment where they just don't know what they want to do. Right? Now, at the end of the episode, we do see that he does name her heir to the throne, but she's still just being a cupbearer. So she's still not really able to have any input in any of the meetings or anything like that. So it's really like nothing has changed aside from the fact that, yeah, you said that I would be able to do this. So a couple big scenes. One is the scene that she had with Princess Rhaenys, the queen that never was. Y'all know how I feel about that shady name. But the conversation that the two of them had where it's like Rhaenys, the princess, is really trying to let Rhaenyra know, look, even though your father named you heir to the throne, the realm ain't going, okay? So don't get too excited about this because it's not going to happen. Your father's going to remarry, and he's going to go on to have an heir. He's probably going to find some young girl to pick to have an heir with. This is right after the scene where Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys' daughter, who's like 10 or 12 or something, they're trying to marry her off because they feel that because she does have the Targaryen blood and she's Valyrian, that it'll strengthen their house. The king, however, has been spending time with Alicent, who I do not like that girl, has been spending time with Alicent. So he's like slowly developing feelings for her because she's there, she's talking to him. He doesn't feel like he's kind of being trapped or forced to marry her. Little does he know, Otto, who is his hand, basically forced his daughter to do that. It's not because she absolutely wanted to spend time with you or she liked spending time with you. It's because she was, for all intents and purposes, forced to do it. But I mean, hey, the king is not seeing that, all right? So we get the scene where we find out that Daemon has stolen one of the dragon eggs. In Targaryen tradition, when a baby is in the cradle, you put a dragon egg in there with them, I guess for protection or something of the sort. It's tradition. So Daemon done came and stole an egg. Rhaenyra was like, we got dragon riders. Let's go get this egg. Let's get it popping. So they don't want her involved in the conversation because she's all about fight, because she want to get out there into the action. So while they have her go out and pick like a knight that's gonna like protect her and protect the king, she picks this guy who's actually had like combat experience. So when when they go to retrieve this egg from Daemon, that's one of the knights that, he's in the center, he's in the forefront of being able to go and protect everybody that's there. So the king wants to go himself. The hand is like, I can't let you do that, it's dangerous. So the hand and Sir Criston and this entire army, they all go together. While they're out there, Daemon was like, I'm about to get married. Okay. This is my wife, she's with child, and they were like, that's your whore. You can tell by the girl's face that, like, not only are we not married, but we don't have I'm not pregnant either. So while they're going back and forth and it's getting ready to turn into bloodshed, because let's be real, Otto don't know what the hell he's doing. Okay, Otto has no idea what the hell he's doing. So when we have this, when they're going back and forth, we have this scene. We see this dragon fly up, and it's Rhaenyra. She comes out, gets up in her uncle's face, Daemon, and she pretty much calls his bluff. You acting like this, you acting out because I was named heir to the throne. You were cast away because you was cutting the food talking about heir for a day. So if you are that mad about it and you want to if you want to be the heir, you know what I mean? And you want to eventually become king, go ahead and kill me right now because I'm the only thing stopping you. He knew he wasn't going to do it. She knew he wasn't going to do it. Daemon and Rhaenyra have this like bond that we have seen in like the first episode. So Rhaenyra is able to get her dragon egg back. And when she goes back, the king is like yelling at her as like as the king, yelling at her as her father. And then it's kind of like, look, I got to remarry, right? And she's like, I understand. You have to remarry. That's like, you're my father. But, you are, you have to honor the realm and stuff like that too. Your allegiance is to the realm. So basically, they're at this last council meeting, and Lord Corlys thinks that the king is going to marry his little daughter. He stands up and says that he's going to marry Alicent. And everybody was like, Alicent? And you can see a piece of Rhaenyra just die. Because she's losing her best friend. She's lost her mom. So it's like everything is being taken away from her. Every little confidant that she has is being taken away from her. So I thought episode 2 was super, super, super good. I know that was like a super fast whatever, but I want to make sure that I talked about some points about that. So episode 3 is now 2 years later. So we have another time jump, which is good. Because let's get the show moving on. Let's get the storyline moving on. So now that it's 2 years later, the king and Alicent have now had their son, Prince Aegon, second of his name. Okay. So everybody that is kind of around the realm or the kingdoms, they're excited because now they know that they're going to have a king. There's a true male heir to the throne, because nobody wants Rhaenyra to be, to lead the realm, to sit on the Iron Throne, because that's not what they did back in the day. Women didn't do that. So they're going to go on this like hunting event because now he's getting his second name. So Rhaenyra doesn't want to go. She's not at any of the ceremonies. And she's like outside reading, and she got this man playing the same song over and over. So the king is inside looking for her, and that's like, he's hyper focused on that. Where's Rhaenyra? Where's Rhaenyra? Where's Rhaenyra? While this is going on, we see back over at that war that Daemon and Lord Corlys were doing against the king of the crab feeders. It's not going the way that it should. Like, they are losing. So when we pan over and see them, they're talking about how they only have about 60 men left. Help is on the way, but won't be there for 2 or 3 weeks. That's back in the day where the only way to get there is by land or sea. So you couldn't just fly over there. So they're trying to tell the king, and he's like, look, I ain't got time to worry about that. It's been going on for 3 years. What's 3 more days? And I said, what's the name? Viserys, don't do this. So Alicent goes out to find Rhaenyra, and it's like, we would like for you to join us. And she was like, girl, bye. I don't want to. So you can see that their friendship is super strained. But I mean, it doesn't even seem like Alicent even wanted or wants now to be queen. I think she just did it because like her father basically told her to. And I think Allison knows that in the process she lost her friend too. So they go on this excursion, and Rhaenyra always been very mouthy. So her father is like, you are a princess. There are things that you need to be doing. You know, basically, you need to be getting married so that you can go ahead and multiply. And, that's how you can keep that branch of our family name going as well. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to. So when she's there, they're at this thing, and all these different lords and knights and things are out there. Rhaenyra is walking, and this guy from Casterly Rock, I can't remember the name. Fuck. What is it? A Lannister. A Lannister approaches her and it's like, oh, hey, I would love to have your hand in marriage. And initially, Rhaenyra thought that he was just being nice talking to her. But then it comes to find out, oh, this is what my father set up. So she goes, approaches the king. They get into it super loud in front of everybody. And it's like, why y'all doing this now? Because the king is drunk, for one. He drunk. Okay. So because the king is so drunk, a lot of the stuff that he's saying isn't coming out and making the most sense. He's belligerent almost, which is why he's kind of showing out. And we see that he's kind of even wondering if he made the right decision. He picked Rhaenyra as heir. He wants to honor that and keep that, but he also knows that he just had a son who he did not think was ever going to come, who is, quote unquote, the rightful heir, right? So the whole point of this thing is if you find a white hart, which is like a white buck, or is that a big moose? I think it's a buck, but you find a white male buck, and that is supposed to symbolize strength and all this other type of stuff. When the king goes out to kill it, it's not a white one. It's just a basic brown one. So he's probably thinking, okay, so maybe I did make the right decision. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra, who had a little attitude, so she left, and her and Sir Criston are out. They're sitting out by this fire and they're just talking because she's wondering will anybody ever respect her as the heir, right? And while they're out there talking in the dead of night with just this fire, a wild boar comes and like charges at her. And Sir Criston is able to go in and stab it to get it to like what he thought was die, but then it like pops back up to life, and Rhaenyra goes in and stabs the shit out of that boar. And it's because she's releasing all the stress and anguish and just everything that's going on with her. She hasn't had the time to really properly grieve. So much has changed for her. You lose your mother, you lose your little brother, your father is like doesn't know how to handle it himself, so like he's not really there to comfort you in the way that you probably should and need to be comforted. And then on top of that, you lose your best friend who was your ace, who was there to like comfort you and all that type of stuff. So she's just stressed. You know what I mean? And the king keeps telling her, you have to marry. That is tradition. You're of age. This is an order. To be real with you, this is an order. So when Alicent talks to, not to forget, Rhaenyra actually sees the white hart. So I think that that's like a sign, a vision, a dream, whatever, that maybe she is supposed to be the rightful heir. And I think she knows that, and I think Sir Criston knows that. But I think it's very telling, very poignant of her that she did not let Sir Criston kill that white hart. She let it go. That's going to come back. I know that's going to come back up. So we see Alicent talking to the king. And she's basically telling him Rhaenyra will get married, but she has to feel like it's something that she wants to do, that is her choosing. It can't be because you're telling her to. And I feel like Viserys doesn't know how to talk to his daughter. It's either you have to do it because I'm commanding you, or the king, as the king, or he doesn't talk to her at all. So Allison is good in that way because she knows Rhaenyra. So it's like you need to figure out a way to communicate with your daughter that is not you barking orders at her. So the final scene. Oh, Allison's pregnant again too. If she has another boy, Rhaenyra girl, bye. Forget about it. So then the final scene that we see is Daemon. Daemon gets a letter from the realm, a letter from the castle, whatever. And it's basically his brother saying that I'm going to send you some help. The king is going to be sending help. Daemon don't want no help. Daemon gets pissed by that. Beats up the messenger. Unnecessary. So Daemon goes on this damn suicide mission where he goes and he waves a flag as if they are surrendering. Has his sword in his hand. So when they come to grab the sword, he has another little one and he stabs the man. So Daemon, who is just Superman at this point, is running toward the leader of the crab feeders, who is always hiding out in the cave. So he's slicing and dicing everybody, but Daemon missteps and he's now surrounded by all these crab feeder men. So it's like, damn, Daemon about to die. But I was like, I know how TV works. They are not going to kill Daemon this early in the season. The third episode? Nah. So all of a sudden, the dragon comes, and the rest of the guard comes, and Daemon is able to take the crab feeder and like basically cut him in half and throw his body out into the water. So Daemon has now won the war without the help of his brother, and I think that sends a message. Viserys, I don't need your ass for nothing. Daemon is crazy. I love Daemon, but Daemon is crazy. Daemon is crazy. So let me know what you guys thought about the past 2 episodes, and I will catch you guys in the next one.